Today, I'll be going over Cobalt Strike Malleable C2 profiles as shared by these two websites here. So first off, I'm going to be showing the traffic behavior of Cobalt Strike in the team server as it is by just default behavior without malleable C2 profiles. So first off screen, I'm going to execute a web scripted delivery beacon from the Windows target. So I'm going to execute that off screen there. And there we get back our beacon. So we could interact here. We can do sleep 20, and then we could also run a command such as ls. Okay, so I'll give that, hopefully, that will probably take a minute, but so as we're waiting for our beacon to come back and look at its tasking, we can jump over to Wireshark and see the behavior so far. So far, the first behavior here, let's follow the stream here, is the staging. So this is the staging here where the beacon does a GET request and our server sends back a PowerShell command to get beacon to execute. And so it looks like we have a bunch more traffic here from the commands that we ran in Cobalt Strike. The ones we're interested in here is this first one, where our beacon comes back to us. No, that was a stager. Let's see here. Where is another one? Oops, that's the stream. Okay, so we can delete this HTTP. Okay, here it is. Okay, interesting. Okay, good deal. Follow stream. So this is default behavior here for our Cobalt Strike beacon calling back to our team server. So that's the GET request here. And it looks like session data and potentially some metadata about the target host is being encoded here in the cookie value. And our server replies with these kind of headers. So the other thing we wanted to capture is how the beacon on the client sends back data to us, right? And it does it with this post command right here. So let's capture that. So this is what this looks like here. So post command, we copy that to record. All right, so post command, and we don't need too much of this data. We just we're focusing on the headers here. So right here. So this is what the post part of beacon traffic looks like, where the beacon right here does the submit with this ID, and a lot of the data is encoded here in the body of the post message, and our team server replies back with these kind of headers. So that was the default traffic for Cobalt Strike. So now I'm going to show you the process of actually creating a malleable C2 profile. So this is based off the Havix one on Mudge's GitHub. So right here, we see some global variables, the sleep time, the user agent. So the two big ones that we're going to be modifying here is the HTTP GET for the client to check in for tasking, and the HTTP post here, which is going to be used by the beacon client to send us data on the team server. So yeah, so these are the different fields that we can modify. For instance, the URI. In this case, I will change it to something custom here, and let's call this joeb.php. So that's going to be the URI that the beacon will be using. And the other part I wanted to modify was for the server output, right? For here, by default, it has this message. So I'm just going to change this and make this a little bit custom here. So let's just change this to data sent. And down here for the post section, let's customize this as well. And we can change this to sus bin, and finally, last part, we'll change this to something custom as well. Requests done. So other things I wanted to point out here for the different values is, for instance, in this case, right, we're going to set very specific values for the header that our server is going to send by default, right? Previously, by default, these were the headers that were sent by the server, and we're going to change it to be something a little bit different. So I already went ahead and I already loaded this up with the current running team server for the sake of time. So this is the team server loaded with that malleable C2 profile that we created. So off screen, I'm going to execute the beacon from the target Windows machine. So I'm running that, and we are waiting a few seconds for it to come back. And so it comes back, we can interact it, maybe sleep 10 seconds, run the ls command, and it's going to take about another 40 seconds for our beacon to call back in. But as that's going through, we can so far check some of the traffic. And here, we're going to restart this guy, continue that saving. Okay, and let's check here. Okay, cool. So some data already came back, but looks like we did not start our Wireshark in time, it looks like, so we can run other commands here just so we can get that traffic, hopefully, in Wireshark. I'll close this. And the Wireshark is acting a little weird. It's all there. Let's see if our filter's working. There we go. Okay, great. So check it out, right? So as you remember, we've changed the different URI here. So let's check it out. Follow TCP stream, right? And so right now it's using the one that we modified it, right? And within the body here, right, it's using the fields and the values that we've set, right? So it looks, it followed the convention that we set it. So in comparison, by default, Cobalt Strike use this URI, right? And the server reply to that was this. So with our malleable C2 profile, we're able to customize how this get looks. And then the other one we should look at is the posts. So let's check out the posts right here. So here's a post, follow TCP stream. And similarly, right, we modified this value here, and it's reflected here in the traffic, and likewise the body section. So if you go back here, right, to our profile that we modified, right, we're getting all of these values that we set. So let's verify this part here, right? So we go back to our Wireshark and look at our headers. See, notice now the headers are set to the Apache values that we have in our malleable C2 profile. So that was a basic introduction to using malleable C2 profiles to change the HTTP GET and posts.